The NFL is always looking for playmakers. Whether that's your premier pass rusher, your shutdown corner, or a quarterback that can carry an offense on game-winning drives. In college, Lamar Jackson was that guy. The former four-star recruit lit college football on fire. He won the Heisman in 2016, and during his 2017 season, he played arguably just as well and placed third in voting. His playmaking ability was featured every single Saturday throughout the season. In this play versus North Carolina, he did a great job of sensing pressure from the blitzing cornerback. He then stepped up in the pocket, reset his feet, and threw a perfect pass in stride to his wide receiver. These gifts really make him a special athlete, but finding a team that will fit his strengths will be a key as he enters the pros. As of right now, I think his best fit in the NFL would be with a team like the New York Giants. They can give him time to develop and learn slowly behind a quarterback like Eli Manning. Another team that would also be a good fit is the Jacksonville Jaguars. He could sit behind Blake Bortles and not be forced to step in for 2 full seasons until he's ready to play. As a prospect, Jackson is an elite athlete from start to finish. If you remember back when you were in elementary school and there was that one kid who was faster, taller, and really just better than you at everything, yeah, he's like that guy times 2. The raw ability he possesses to create plays makes him an extremely fun prospect to watch. While he's obviously a fantastic athlete, his accuracy can definitely be improved. Additionally, his anticipation to throw receivers open wasn't the best. It's in my strong opinion that he needs time to develop. Now, this isn't a spread versus pro-style argument because he actually played in a pro-style system in college, but this is more that I want to see him get through his progressions more consistently and throw the ball with better timing. At Louisville, the Cardinals ran a vertical passing offense. He was constantly running play action out of pistol or single back while taking deep 5 or 7-step drops. This offensive line and the way the system was set up gave him a lot of deep opportunities, but it also gave him many clean running looks after his wide receivers vertically stretched the defense. During his last 2 seasons in college, he dealt with a ton of pressure allowed by this line. According to Pro Football Focus, he was under pressure roughly 35% of his snaps. He did hold onto the ball for too long on occasion, but other times, just like in this play and the previous play, his line was simply beat and he was forced to make moves. Now, something I did notice on tape was that while he can sense pressure and react to it, he's not entirely patient when he sits in the pocket. He'll sometimes drift too far forward and will get sacked when he could have made a play with his arm. Versus Florida State, the defense is rushing 5. They were playing cover 1, which means they were playing man coverage across the field. Versus this defense, the drag route from the left side has a natural advantage to get open. I really thought Jackson could have dumped the ball here, but instead, he looked jumpy in the pocket and looked like he wanted to scramble. This is what caused a sack, and this happened a fair number of times where he wouldn't set his feet at the proper depth while going through his progressions. Here's another example. It's 1st and 10 in the first quarter when Louisville took on North Carolina State. Jackson had a spacing concept on the left side of the field, but he impatiently goes through his reads. The spot route by 87 is where this ball should have gone. He's open between zones, and this is easily a 5-yard gain or more if he passes it on time. However, Jackson quickly jumps to the backside of the play and then slams his shoulder forward and stupidly takes a sack. There are definitely times where a sack is the correct play, but that was not the case here. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we have seen some weird and frankly random takes on Jackson. Some have called him a wide receiver, some have claimed he should play running back, and some have even said he should switch to safety. I don't think he has to switch positions, but if your team drafts him, you have to understand that he's still a huge project. He needs time to improve on his ability, and he needs time to learn the nuances of an NFL offense. While I do think Jackson has star potential, I'm really concerned with his accuracy. He made his wide receivers dive all over the place, and he frankly struggled with ball placement all season. In this play versus Kent State, he had a deep over route attacking the space created by the fade route on the sideline. Jackson's pass is so overthrown that it allows the outside cornerback to turn and pick off the ball. Earlier in this season against UNC, the Tar Heels drop into a 3-deep zone. There's a clear hole between the outside third defender and the sideline defender, but Jackson puts the ball way out of bounds. I initially thought the wide receiver ran the wrong route, but no, it's just such a poorly thrown pass that no matter where the receiver was, this ball wouldn't have been caught. Now digging deeper, the way he throws the ball is all wrist movement, and he doesn't even step into his throws. His feet are too narrow, and watch as he plants his front leg forward while keeping his weight on his back foot. This is the reason why he struggles with placing balls over linebackers and why he has a tendency to sail his passes way over the head of his targets. With his athleticism, I was really hoping and really assuming that he'd fit a bootleg style offense, but he is still hit or miss in this area as well. After he did a good job escaping the pocket, he had an open receiver sprinting across the field. Unfortunately, his throw is outside the frame of his receiver and he can't haul in the pass. In my opinion, accuracy is the most important trait a quarterback has. If he can't connect with his wide receivers, he'll struggle to make plays, especially against NFL defenses. Another area that's probably his second biggest weakness is that he's consistently a half or full second late in all of his throws. He has an opening on this post route, and even his pump fake is a full second late. He had a chance if he started his throwing motion here, but he stares it down and then moves on to his wide open check down by the sideline. Now, I'll never blame somebody for getting a 15-yard play, but when you're wide open by this amount, I just can't exactly give you much credit. The post route is where this ball should have gone. Here's another example where he has an out route on the right side of the field. He took an extra hitch step in the pocket and even placed the ball too high on the sideline. Sure, he did get the 9-yard gain, but if he threw this pass with better timing, the wide receiver won't get pissed in the huddle, and this play goes from a 9-yard gain to an 11 or 12 pretty quickly. In this play versus Clemson, Jackson is a full second behind and throws the ball late into the end zone. This should have been a pick six, but the safety clearly dropped it. Now, at this point in this video, if you think I'm crapping all over your favorite quarterback, trust me, I'm not. I just believe there's a lot of risk if you pick him in the first round. But again, with that risk does come a very high potential player. He had some truly jaw-dropping passes this season, and if his wide receiver just held onto the ball, this should have been a touchdown. For Lamar Jackson's pro comparison, I think him and Michael Vick are pretty similar when they both came out of college. They both have the elite athleticism to create plays, and neither are perfect pocket passers. They both also had issues with fumbles, where Jackson had almost 8 or 9 per season. Now Vick went first overall, and while I think Jackson has a lot of upside, I just can't see him getting picked that early. He already has big play potential, but he needs to master the small things it takes to be a professional quarterback. Well, that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want to support the channel, go ahead and click on the link to my Patreon account. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Samuel R. Gold.